Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to All Motion. I'm your host, Jake. It's been a while, but we're still here. Happy to be here. This is number 79, ScarCity Unfiltered, America in Motion. This is the fourth episode in the series with ScarCity, so we're very excited for this interview. ScarCity speaks about the importance of all motion, comments on the events that are going on currently in the United States, and the current U.S. climate. Let's take a listen. Hello, everybody in the world, and welcome. This is Jake, All in Motion podcast. This is very exciting. Midsummer. Want to check in with everybody out there. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, ScarCity!
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? Peace, love, and light. Y'all already know it's Scar City. What's goody? What's goody, baby?
Y'all not everybody know. This is like kind of not. I want to say last minute, but we literally did this on the whim, right? On the go, right? This afternoon, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You explain to people what we've been doing real quick, and then we'll kind of run down.
Yes, sir. So we've been in the camp. Like I said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Blessings from the whole AIM family. We've been in the camp. We've been brainstorming, thinking, trying to understand the state of the world, the state of technology, the state of media as a whole. And so we have to really regroup and brainstorm so we can come back and give our audience really what they're looking for, right? Which is insight on things like technology, insight on things like mental health, insight on things like music and everything that comes with that. So that's kind of what we've been up to, just really brainstorming, readjusting our focus to be sharper than ever for the rest of 2025.
And repurposing the content, which we,
Well, absolutely. That goes without saying, right? That goes without saying.
And we'll be doing amazing with that. Hats off to JD, Jose, our guy that's been definitely helping us the last 6 months. So
Big shout out to JD.
Yes, sir. You want to just talk?
Who in the house?
Want to just talk? JD's in the house. Welcome, JD. You want to speak about just a little bit about what he's been doing? So people that don't know, that do know, when they see this new, like, wow, like look at this different content. Because if you want to break that down, maybe just a little bit, so people can have a better understanding what we've been doing with that.
Yeah. So big shout out to JD. He's been helping us to elevate the podcast, to elevate the way the podcast comes across, right? We're very intentional about making sure that everyone knows what we're doing and we want to be represented in a certain way. So JD has helped us to elevate that, elevate the way we look, the way we sound, the way we come across, our presentation as a whole. So big shout out to JD. And yeah, we're doing some great things and we're not finished yet. We're not done yet.
Right. And this is awesome. And again, just the full disclaimer, just let everybody know, ScarCity and I put this together. This has actually been ongoing for a while, but today hit me up and what this is actually a series with ScarCity, what we've been doing since, I want to say about 2-3 years ago. And it started off with number 28 when he came on board, Creative Organic Teamwork, number 28. You want to talk about that a little bit so people can go back and kind of understand before you even became a host or even part of AIM, you did that. That was your first initial interview.
Organic teamwork, right? Like we kind of went into the concept of us working together, collaborating, using sites, social audio sites like Clubhouse and Fanbase or X Twitter Spaces, right? Just a number of different places to meet, utilize the technology to its fullest extent, right? Because a lot of times we say, oh, technology is the way. But if you're not in technology or if you're not tapped in with someone from technology, you may or may not know how to actually use technology to your full benefit. So we've been doing that, using the teamwork, things like JD as an example. We got JD to help us. We're doing a lot of things, working with a lot of people. We're working with Wes, all of our AIM family. AIM is not just two people sitting in a podcast room. No, we're all over the globe. AIM is everywhere. So allemotionpodcast.com. We're doing some great things, utilizing all the technology that's out there that's available to us and all the technology that will be available to us. So that's kind of what we've been focusing on.
Absolutely. And then as we roll into this, I want to just touch on the last two. This is going to be the fourth in the series here with ScarCity about his life, his story, and everything that impacted him to become to where he's at today. And number 30, ScarCity, was another episode of my partner, ScarCity.
Absolutely. So, talking about the partnership and how do we manage to do that? How do we manage to have a partnership? And a lot of people were on things like Clubhouse, and then they stopped being on Clubhouse, and then they lost the relationship, they lost the link. We kept the link. We only grew stronger. How do we do that? How do we keep it organic and continue to just talk on mental health, to talk on relationship issues and relationship solutions, to talk on different things in the world, the state of the world, right? Our security, cybersecurity, the physical security. Like, how do we manage to keep all those things intact and continue to just go forward and push? How do we do that? That's what we talked about on that episode.
Last one into that series before this one, we got to this is number 41. I think one of my favorites. I don't know if you agree. ScarCity transitioning from the streets to corporate.
Introduction to the esoteric. So the thing about that is the transition from the streets to the corporate. Now, the funny thing is, like, a lot of people say, well, what is the streets? What do people actually mean when they say the streets? A lot of times is people don't really have a place to go when they don't have employment, when they don't have housing, and you could be homeless. I come from very, very humble beginnings in New York City. So coming out of that, and then walking into the boardroom and walking into understanding what it is to be on a C-level, or at least to be associated with C-level people like a CFO, a CTO, a COO. What does that mean? What are the responsibilities of that? Starting your LLC, having insurance, having an EIN. We kind of go into that on that episode, and it's a great episode. So I want everybody to go and check out that episode on the allemotionpodcast.com, or you can get it on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast.
How you been, man? And how's your summer going so far?
Summer's going great. I battled and still battling with a lot of health issues, but no excuses. We have more than enough knowledge to be able to help ourselves, to heal ourselves, and to be well, right? That's what's most important, right? My family, my wife, my kids, my AIM family, my ScarCity Music Group, SMG family, all of the family, everybody that support, and just continuing to enjoy the benefits of having good relationships and good friends in all walks of life.
I wanted to bring that up. That's a really good point. Transitioning to that is the state of AIM, like the state of all motion, like where it's at. Because people see we've been repurposing content, like what's the meaning behind that? And like you just said it, I brought it up to you just recently. It's amazing and powerful, man. Like we went to Podfest and just the strength off of that and all the people out there is who they are that we met and sometimes I know everybody in life we can admit talk about mental health and we all get down. But I remember I call you and I'm just like, you know what I mean, just saying. Life is what it is. And then 4 years later, fast forward, we're here with AIM.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, big shout out to everyone that's been supporting AIM. And when we say the state of AIM, I want people to understand that it's all in motion. Everything is in motion. So when we say the state of AIM, we're talking about what does it look like to be a part of a podcast that is historical, where breaking records. We have A-listers, right? I don't have to say names. If you really want to find out, you can go and check out the All Emotion podcast. You can listen to the episodes that I've done, like you mentioned, episode 30, right? And so on and so forth, 28, right? Creating organic teamwork that we referenced earlier. But I see now that we're starting to get a lot of attention from bigger names, and that's a beautiful thing. I want us to continue to grow and elevate. Definitely a big shout out to all the folks that we've interviewed, right? And one in particular, we talk about, Bobby Holiday from the Bobby Holiday Experience, and, having him on the show and being able to promote him and promote some of the things that he said in episode number 45 has been great, because we've talked about people like Richard Pryor, talked about people like Eddie Murphy, Kevin Hart, right? Marlon Wayans, all these people we've talked about. And a lot of those folks that I mentioned, they've actually checked out All Emotion. So All Emotion is growing. We're stepping into a new dimension, a whole new realm. We've elevated. The podcast is elevated. So what is the current state of AIM? We're stronger, we're building, and our content is more solid, and we're repurposing everything that we've already put out. And most importantly, we're still helping people to grow and develop. So yeah, I'm happy about that.
I appreciate it, and definitely want to thank all those out there that you said that supported us. So as we know, we last got on here, there's just a lot that has been developing, going on in our own country. But in your own opinion, man, what do you think, without diving too deep into it, our current state and climate of the U.S. economy? Like, how has it affected you? What can people do? I think the audience wants to know, what can people do that, hypothetically work for the government or work for another organization? And it's just like, I want to move out of this country. I don't want to live here anymore. How could people, number one, just deal with that? And the second part is how can they, just like hunker down and be like, it's going to get better. It's going to get better.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say most importantly, as you know, I'm a cybersecurity expert. When you're tapped in with someone like myself, and when you're tapped in with All Emotion and ScarCity, what that does is it gives you access into those things, right? It's kind of like where, you want to find out all the news. So you go to like a channel that will focus on not just on the left, not just on the right, not just in the middle, but everything, right? I'm a big advocate of the CISA. I follow them, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, which was founded in 2018, right? So when you're tapped in with someone like myself, Jacob, All Emotion, it's like you're getting all of that from one place, right? One source, one general source, right? The idea of, All Emotion is not just, oh, we only focus on mental health. Oh, we only focus on like cybersecurity and relationships. No, it's all emotion. So the word all encompasses everything that exists, right? Right. Like we're trying to focus on everything that exists that's going to make us stronger. Right. So at All Emotion, we want to make sure that we're, giving the people a sense of comfort, right? I'm on the front lines. I know what's going on. I understand the economy. I understand people are suffering. My advice to people, to answer your question, Jacob, is I would advise that everyone gets in some form of tech, that they learn something in technology. We're up against AI, artificial intelligence, ML, machine learning, right? Robotics, all of these things that we're going to be challenging, or I would say that not that we're going to be challenging, but that's going to be challenging us actually. It's not human versus human anymore. Now it's human versus AI. The quicker you get your children, your loved ones into technology, the better off we'll be. All right. Because now we're kind of a step ahead, right? It's not like, oh, the machines are going to completely replace our jobs. No. What'll happen is people are going to depend on you, and tech becomes elevated now because you have to learn. You have to know what's going on. Even the cars, we had, the self-driving cars, the self-driving cars are automated.
I just saw one the other day. I just saw one of my neighbors, he has a hybrid Range Rover.
Right.
Going to gas and it's electric. You understand?
Eventually, the gas will go away, whether we like it or not. And so this is the direction that we're going in. Smart homes are being built, right? Smart refrigerator, smart doors, smart phones, everything, right? So what I'm saying is that as we begin to develop into this field, it's inevitable. Like you have to learn tech. That's just the way to go. So without going too deep into that, I want people to go to allemotionpodcast.com to tap into all of our episodes, because we do touch on a lot of these things. And the next episode that I do will strictly be about technology. Forward to that.
I'm just saying real quickly, for people out there that have not, make sure you please go back and listen to when ScarCity first came over All Motion, because this is the foundation. And just like I said, there's no rush. Check out these episodes on our website, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and definitely check out Instagram for our weekly updates. Number 28, creating organic teamwork. Number 30, another episode with my partner ScarCity. And number 41, transitioning from the streets to corporate. What would you say, ScarCity, to summarize those 3 episodes, and this being the 4th in the iteration or 4th part of your story? Like, out of those 3 and then move forward, like, what could people take out of that from those 3 and from what you can remember? It will help them get through the rest of this year and then live a better life.
So the key is to understand that we are beings of light. As I mentioned in the previous episodes, don't focus on the past, focus on the future. Stay around people that have positive thinking. The positive is always higher than the negative. And understand yourself. When the Bible or the Quran or any book of wisdom talks about know thyself, you have to know yourself on all levels. That can be, what is your sign? What is your favorite color? What numbers do you see? What is your birth date? What is your zodiac sign? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What are your triggers? What triggers you? What type of emotional gauge do you have? What is the spectrum of your emotions? All those different things is the know thyself, right? Understand, like for instance, if you're a gambler and you're easy to gamble, you might lose 50 grand in a night. If you If you allow yourself to this, if you know you're a gambler, then don't gamble. If you know you have the ability to get angry very quickly, then you have to make sure that you put yourself in an environment that don't trigger your anger. Don't be, if you're in a relationship and you want someone to be truthful to you, then state that. That's what I mean by know thyself, is knowing yourself, knowing who you are, your core, who you are at your core, and understand you, and know thyself is also relates to health. What is your blood pressure? What is your cholesterol level? What is the age of your body? Not the age that you've been around the sun, Drizzies. No, what is the age of your body? Meaning, check on yourself. What's your bone density? Are you fine? Are you healthy? Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. Check on yourself. You have to take care of yourself because no one else is going to do it. So take care of yourself, love yourself, and surround yourself with people that love you and want to push what you want to do and want to push things that make you happy, and that will take you to the next level. With that, I'm going to say peace, love, and light.
I'm going to say this, and then you go ahead. You can tell me what your opinion, thoughts are. Epstein files, go.
So with the Epstein files, it's still, there's still more information coming out. We don't know all the details, right? A lot of this stuff is handled at the highest levels of government in this country, right? So for me, I don't speak on what I don't know. I would say that we know there's a lot of information that's out there, but there's also a lot of misinformation. So let's not go quick to prejudging. Let's get all the information, all the knowledge. Let's do the knowledge, the wisdom, and then we can get to understanding.
These last two we've done.
Diddy's coming home. That's all I can say.
What would we seen the people out there that are, you know what I mean? That hiked it up and this and that. Like, people should, to your right, stay in their own lane.
A person is innocent until proven guilty. Now, some of the things from a moral perspective, you can say whatever you want to say. You can feel however you want to feel. But in terms of convicting a person in the court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. This person is a citizen of America. They're not in another country. They're in America. And here, if they're proven innocent, the same thing with O.J. Simpson. If the glove does not fit, you must acquit. And there's so much more coming out from the story. Some of the sex workers and things like that trying to do lawsuits against Cassie, doing lawsuits against Diddy. So it's not just a clean cut. Oh, it's simple. Oh, this is what it is. No, it's a complex story. So things that are complex, let's handle it as a complex situation. Don't go into jump, because somebody can say anything about you, the person listening to them. They can say something that's about you that may or may not be true, but at the end of the day, you go before a jury of your peers.
Right.
So once you go to the jury and then they say that you're innocent on this, innocent on that, guilty on this, guilty on that, you have to stand with that and you have to deal with the cards that have been dealt.
The state of our national security.
So the state of our national security is very, very sensitive topic. Like I said, I'm very tapped into the CISA, but without revealing anything classified, right now we're doing a lot of shifting. We're shifting a lot of our strategic focus from a national security perspective. Keep your eyes on China. We're still looking to deter them, although we know that all of the Indo-Pacific areas, such as like Russia, Iran, North Korea, are still persistent threats. We always look at China, right? The current state is that we're learning that the insider threat is a lot of times more potent than the external threat. There's a lot of areas that we have to, we call it in the cybersecurity world, we call them threat vectors or attack vectors. There's a lot of emerging attack vectors. Right now, people doing ransomware, they're trying to attack your healthcare, the energy grids, AI, exploiting AI, and all of our supply chains. There's a lot of things out there that we need to watch for, but at the end of the day, we're still strong. The country is good. Things are great. Don't believe everything you read. Don't believe the media on face value. Do what Ronald Reagan said. You trust, but verify.
Dating today in our current climate, everything that's going on, we all know someone that's going through a divorce, is breaking up. Okay, being someone that's married, dating, relationships, marriage in the United States, is it dead? What do you think?
So again, knowledge is infinite. We are beings of light. Tap into that light. Find out who you are. Find out, what you are. What is your cosmic consciousness level? Find out who you are as a person. Don't limit yourself, right? Again, don't go but the media and social media and trends. Be a universal being. Be a universal being. Don't be limited. There's love out there. Love can be found. There's someone for everyone. And I'm a advocate of that. And I'm an avid believer of that there's someone for everyone.
Appreciate it. Any last time words before we, I know we had to go through this, but anything lastly you just want to, like, in the next 30 seconds, want to close out with a couple people we want to not only shout out, but just want to thank before you head out?
I want to thank my wife and kids, man. They keeping me strong. I want to thank my family, all of my family, all my extended family, my ScarCity Music Group family, my All Emotion family, everyone that has been supporting me and supporting All Emotion. We thank you very much. All of our supporters. Big shout out to my inner circle of people that help me to push my content and keep things going. All of my loved ones that's doing their thing. Big up, big respect, big love. Big up yourself.
Thank you again, ScarCity, for another amazing interview. Make sure you check out ScarCity on Instagram at Team ScarCity1. I say again, at Team ScarCity1 on Instagram. If you have not done so already, please make sure you check out allmotionpodcast.com. Get to learn a bit more about us, live new videos, and all of our episodes. That's allinmotionpodcast.com. Make sure you check out on Instagram, All in Motion Podcast. That's All in Motion Podcast. Check out our weekly posts, stories, new reels that we post. Let you know what we have going on as we work on developing our YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. This is Jake from All Motion. Take care and be safe.